You're listening to the SS Experience.
White people love that guy. That's his secret. Don't underestimate him.
On SMG.
We're in the final hour of the SS Experience. I hate it when this type of news hit my timeline. Looks like another white police officer killed a black guy again. Eric Garner style. I can't breathe. I don't understand why I can't breathe to police seems like a foreign language. I can't breathe means I can't breathe. Get the... You know what? This is the perfect time to go ahead and hit up my IG Live because I'm going to say some things that's going to get me in a little bit of trouble, but I'm frustrated and I have a platform and I get to do that. You know what it is. Follow me. Let's get it. Bruh. I don't know how to start this IG Live, but I'm just going to talk because either way I have to be, synchronized with the work clock. So I got to just talk anyway. So let me go ahead and take this shot of Hennessy real quick. So let me make sure I got the name right. George Floyd was murdered today by a Minnesota police officer. Basically, like I said in the update, Eric Garner style. There's video out. I don't condone the video. I never condone watching murder. It's just something that I don't do. So I'm not going to tell you where to find it, but you know where to find it. You'll see it. And then you'll just be like, what the fuck? I've always said that Black people need to just find ways to defend themselves against all of this shit, because it seems that white police officers just don't understand that killing Black people is not cool. Like, it's wrong. But it goes back into a time where it was. And it's crazy because I've been watching shows like, put you onto a dope show, Godfather Harlem, Forrest Whitaker in that joint. He plays Bumpy Johnson. That's back in like the 60s. It takes place in like 63. So that's like 20 years before I was born and shit. And then the same shit that they talk about and go through in 1963 is the same shit that we talk about in 2020, which is also the same shit that they talked about back in the 1900s. Black people are being murdered by white people and it's cool. I just don't get it. I have solutions, but nobody likes my solutions. Like, everybody thinks my solutions is like out of the blue. What I think out of the blue is that Black people are always being murdered by white police officers. It just always fucking happens and nothing negative happens. The worst thing that I've seen in my lifetime is when, and I don't have the names right, but y'all know the situation. Y'all know what it is. When the white lady cop walked into the wrong apartment, killed the Black dude whose apartment he was in, and she gets 10 years in prison, and everybody is hugging her and being sad for her, like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And the whole time what people forgot was the judge was a Black lady. Get the fuck out of here. Like, are you fucking serious? So the closest that we could have got justice for a white cop killing a Black person, a Black lady gives her 10 fucking years. And everybody's crying and hugging her, even the fucking judge. So turn the other cheek doesn't work. Going through the process of law doesn't work. There's one main option, but I came up with a more peaceful option because I didn't want to, make this seem all hateful and shit. So I came up with two solutions for all of this shit. The first solution is just very violent. White people have to die. Like, it has to be a fear factor. Like when, the old white lady is walking down the street and she sees like a Black guy and then she holds her purse and then she walks across the street. It needs to be a fear factor like that, because what else is there? Like, if you know that it's like this. If I'm driving a car and I'm speeding and I go 10 miles over the limit or 15 miles over the limit and I get a ticket for that, okay, I can deal with that punishment. That ain't shit. Just like now, in Virginia, marijuana is about to be decriminalized. Shout out to Governor Northam. About to be might be my favorite Virginia governor, second to, maybe over L. Douglas Wilder, the first Black governor. So nobody can say that I'm racist, because I'm an equal opportunist. I'm down for everybody. So if it's a penalty that you can deal with, then you don't care. If I catch a body and get 10 years, do you know how I would not give a fuck about that 10 years if I murder somebody and I get only 10 years? For one, I'm going to be the man in prison, because if you catch a murder and you're going to get out in 10 years, everybody's fearing you. So your prison life is going to be straight. You're just going to basically just be there for a decade. So what? I caught a body. People die over catching bodies. I get 10 years. I can live with that. So the punishment has to be more severe. And if black people can die and it's okay, white people need to see the same thing. And it's just like, and it's funny that I'm about to make this analogy, and I really don't want to make this analogy in comparison, but I'm about to do it anyway, real quick. I know the IG Live, we about to shout out to the 12 of you that are there. You know, I love all of you. We went from 6 to 12, so we're doubling up. We're growing fast. But when John F. Kennedy got assassinated, and Malcolm X was on whatever program that was, and he was speaking on it, he basically said that the white man's hatred is what led to Kennedy being murdered. And he got a lot of flack for that because Malcolm X was trying to let them know, see, this is what it feels like when your hatred and your anger kills people. And it happened to your own, and it happened to a good guy in JFK. So let's fast forward that to 2020. They have to feel the pain of what it's like to have your dad gone out of the blue because whatever, you know, or, you know, dad gets into a traffic stop and it goes all wrong and now he's dead. Or, you know, dad went to go, you know, get some ice cream and he gets shot in the store. You know, that type of shit. You know, brothers, sons, you know, uncles, people, friends lost randomly. It happens at random. They need to feel how that feels like. And then they can be like, wow, this isn't cool, because racism is taught. Like, it goes back, way back. You always think that racism going to die, but no, it's there. It's not going to go anywhere. So racism isn't going to die out. I used to think when I was younger, like, okay, well, it'll be dead and we can all be cool. But that be dead and we can all be cool. But that can't happen because the racist old white people teaches it to their kids, and then their kids believe it, and then they keep teaching it and teaching it, and it won't go nowhere. So that's my point. It's not going anywhere. So racism is going to stay there. So if you say, well, damn, I don't want to kill white people. I don't think that's the way. That's not in me. I want to be able to walk around and be free, but I'm not a killer for it. I have the perfect solution for that. It has to be some sort of law or legislation that says any non-African American, preferably white, but any non-African American police officer, security officer, anybody with a badge or some sort of security law enforcement, you know, jurisdiction. So yeah, even if you're a mall cop, if any of you people kill a black person that's not armed, you get 20 years. So you may think, well, damn, 20 years is kind of harsh. Exactly. If the punishment is too severe, you're not going to do the action. So if a police officer is going to get 20 years off the rip for killing a black person that's not armed, he's going to think twice about pulling the trigger. He's going to think twice about doing that illegal hold, that strangle move. He's going to think twice about it because he's like, damn, I'm going to get 20 years off the rip on top of everything else that comes along with it. That's the type of shit and change that's going to happen. So people, you know, like George Floyd, we don't have to keep seeing them on our timelines with RIP and Black Lives Matter. That's like the funniest shit ever. Every time I see Black Lives Matter is after a black life is gone. But that's another conversation I'll get into later. Shout out to everybody that was on the IG Live. I know that ran a little long, but you know, when we talk about, you know, these police killings, it's just something that it just hits hard because the police is supposed to be out there to protect and serve. But how can you feel like you're going to be protected if you see videos of police officers killing black people for no apparent reason? I'm not going to get into it any further. You can follow me on my Twitter. You know I'm going to leave it all there.
Thank you for listening to the SS Experience. For exclusive and live content, download the SMG Podcast Network app.